The full moon's glow filtered through the forest canopy, casting shadows that danced across the lonesome backroad. I relished these tranquil nighttime drives home after finishing my shift at the diner. Out here with just the gentle stridulations of crickets and owls, my mind could wander free of the day's stresses. I had the route memorized, no need to focus my tired eyes much. The rocky pavement unfurled under my tires for mile after mile, my old sedan's engine purring. Rural living meant everywhere worth going required a journey, but I didn't mind. The scenic detours were part of the charm. In retrospect, my complacency should have been a warning. I took too much for granted traveling this isolated passage after dark. Let my guard down against the hidden menaces that called the forest home. Maybe on some deeper level I even craved the adventure, the rush of adrenaline long missing from my uneventful small-town life. The jarring smash of impact shattered my contented road trance. My foot reflexively slammed the brakes. Through the cracked windshield, I could make out the man's contorted figure splayed across the asphalt. No. Please, no. I rushed from the car, heart clenched. Don't let him be. The ringing silence told me my hopes were in vain before I could even check for a pulse. I took a few stumbling steps back, clasping my mouth in mute shock. Then movement in my periphery pulled my gaze toward the tree line. From the brush lumbered a hulking, misshapen creature that looked vaguely humanoid but skeletal, with elongated limbs and an unnaturally elongated head. Dark, depthless eyes locked onto me as it let out an otherworldly howl. Terror jolted my muscles into motion well before my mind could process what I was seeing. I tore into the woods with reckless abandon, thorns and branches savaging my clothes and skin. None of that registered through the sheer primal urgency. I could hear the beast crashing through the underbrush behind me, closer, closer, its guttural snarls permeating the damp fog that had descended. Up ahead, I spotted the decrepit shack, a relic left behind by long-gone rural farmers. I barely managed to squeeze through a crack in the warped wooden door before my legs gave out. Crumpled against the entrance, I heard the creature's claws rake the exterior as it paced around this fragile sanctuary. For the moment, I was safe. Or so I believed, until the coarse burlap sack was yanked over my head, plunging me into darkness. Rough hands bound me tightly to a rickety chair. As the covering was ripped away, my vision slowly adjusted to reveal I was not alone. A figure sat opposite me wearing some kind of macabre ceremonial mask carved with disturbing symbols. His true face remained obscured, but his eyes bore a palpable malevolence. After silently regarding me for some time, he finally spoke. "I want you to pray for mercy." The night descended into a blur of dark rituals, acts seemingly plucked from the morbid fables of bygone eras. I witnessed things humans should never see. The masked man brought the bound and trembling young woman into the shack, tossing her roughly to the dirt floor. Surrounding her were strange occult markings etched in blood. Candles cast flickering shadows across the symbol-adorned walls. From a rusty cage in the corner came the cries of another prisoner awaiting sacrifice. The man offered incantations in an ancient tongue, making bizarre gestures to invisible forces. The skeletal creature responded to his arcane commands, lurking in the darkness just beyond the candlelight. I watched in silent horror as the ritual commenced. The woman's screams rang out, intermingling with haunting chants as she was dragged towards the imposing stone altar. Dark crimson flowed and pooled beneath her thrashing figure as the masked man worked his blade. Her pleas for mercy went unheeded. Shadows danced around the room, called forth by forces beyond this mortal plane. The smell of burning incense and scorched flesh suffused the air as the man burned bizarre effigies I couldn't recognize. All the while, the caged prisoner wailed, knowing he was next to face this sinister madness. Time lost meaning in the depths of that nightmarish hovel. Dawn felt impossibly far away as the rituals stretched on, feeding powers I dared not understand. I could only stare, helpless and petrified, begging internally for the light of salvation to pierce the sea of darkness. And I saw the creature again, ripping apart a human sacrifice with primal hunger as their screams mixed with some hellish chanting. The masked man dragged the young woman's now lifeless body away, leaving a gruesome trail of crimson. He returned with another prisoner, this one still clinging desperately to life. Fresh meat for the insatiable beast. At the man's gesture, the creature emerged from the shadows. Its fleshless limbs and elongated skull made it look like an aberration against nature. Dark rancid fluids dripped from its gnashing jaws as it sniffed its next victim. The chanting grew louder, reverberating off the shack walls. The man held down the prisoner's thrashing form while the monster loomed over him. A plead for mercy went unanswered as the ritual blade sliced deep. Then the creature fell upon the man, tearing into soft belly flesh. Blood spilled across the dirt floor while the beast feasted. Its primal snarls mingled with the prisoner's shrill cries as it devoured him piece by piece. His wails finally fell silent as the last shreds of skin were stripped from bone. I could only stare in wide-eyed horror, bile rising in my throat. The creature's black eyes turned to meet my gaze, feral intelligence shining in those dark pits. It would be my turn upon the altar soon. But dawn's warm glow pierced the dingy shack window just soon enough. The man had turned to prepare the altar for me, and I bolted through the cracked door on trembling legs. I didn't look back once as I raced for salvation, praying the evil was confined to the night. I didn't look back once as I raced for salvation with the rising sun. I knew the man and his pet monster wouldn't follow past the forest's edge by day. But after glimpsing such nightmarish evils beneath the moonlight, I fear I'll never view the world the same again. The shadow's dangerous mysteries can't be unknown once witnessed. So now I barricade myself indoors come nightfall. The trauma of that awful night lingers no matter how I try to shut it out. I only survived through mercy I didn't deserve. But I sense that evil still lurks, waiting for dusk to claim more lost souls. And its appetite is far from sated.